If you've been shooting photos for a while, you probably have quite a few photos that you would really be sad about if they were to go missing, whether you accidentally delete them or you have a corrupted hard drive or whatever. So backing up your photos is always a good idea, whether that's onto an external hard drive or a NAS drive, or even some sort of cloud storage online. Each of those presents their own disadvantages. External hard drives can get lost or corrupted. NAS drives can be expensive or hard to build if you're making them yourself. And cloud storage can get pretty expensive as you upgrade your amount of storage. Up until recently, Google had their Google Photos where you could upload all of your photos to unlimited, but now you have to pay extra if you want some extra features and to add more photos to that. But thankfully, we have Amazon Photos. If you're an Amazon Prime user like myself, you have unlimited file storage for your photos and up to 5 gigabytes for videos. Now, I think every non-Amazon Prime user has up to 5 gigabytes worth of photo storage. I'm not sure because I only really paid attention to Prime users because that's what I am, but I'll put a link in the description if you want to learn more about Amazon Photos and get started for yourself. So if you open up the link in the description, you'll see this page, which is how you get started with Amazon Photos. You can use Amazon Photos all from your mobile device, your tablet, or your desktop, whether that's on the desktop app or in the browser. I found that the desktop app is really handy if you have a folder with all of your photos where you want to set up a backup automatically. You can get that set up in the desktop app and have it sync every certain amount of time that you want to set it up for. If you just want to do a one-time upload, then you can just open up the browser and open all of your photos up from there. Once you download the desktop app, you'll be prompted to sign into your Amazon account. And then from there on the home screen, you can see any of the photos that you've already uploaded if you've already uploaded some. If we go to the backup tab on the left, we can set specific folders that we want to back up regularly onto our Amazon Photo Drive. On this page, you just click the button that says Add Backup, find a folder that you want to back up. From this pop-up window, you can also add more folders inside of your Amazon Photo Drive if you want to add some more organization. You can also set the frequency of how often it will upload changes to that folder. So you can have it checking the folder from anywhere from 5 minutes all the way up to once a week. And you can also have it where it checks the photos that you've already uploaded and it won't upload those photos if it notices a duplicate. So I shoot my photos in RAW. I use a Sony camera, so I get ARW files. Amazon Photos thankfully can support RAW photos, JPEGs, PNGs. Here is a list from their websites that shows all the file types that they offer. Obviously, since I only have a Sony, I can only vouch for their compatibility with Sony photos, but feel free to try it yourself if you have a different camera and see if those RAW photos can be uploaded as well. And I would also recommend that even if they can be uploaded, then you might want to double check in the browser to make sure that they're at least previewable. I know that my Sony files can be previewed in the browser. If your RAW photos can't be previewed, then I did find a pretty easy way to get around that. If you were to open up your folder with your RAWs in Adobe Bridge, you can go and select all of your photos, right-click and go to Export and then Custom Export. From here, we're going to want to export it to the same file location as these photos are. Set your file type to JPEG, and then we can bring the image quality quite down because these are just going to be files that we can preview the photos of the RAW. So they're going to keep the same file name as the RAW photos, but then you'll be able to see these JPEGs alongside the RAW photos so that you can at least preview which one is which. This may not be necessary because I'm not sure what other kinds of RAW photos are supported on Amazon Photos, but if for some reason you can upload but you can't preview your photos, this is a quick little way that you can get around that. And thankfully Adobe Bridge is free, so if you're curious about what that software is, you can go and check out the link up here where I explain everything all about Adobe Bridge. So here you can see on this window I have a bunch of duplicate files. Some of the colors are a little different between the two instances, and that's because each are a RAW and the JPEG version. I did this as a little test to see how that sequence that I was telling you about with exporting from Adobe Bridge would work. And then I found out that my Sony images are actually previewable, so then I didn't end up needing to do this, but this is basically how you would see your JPEGs beside your RAW photos, even if you couldn't preview your RAWs in this window. So here's the part about Amazon Photos that I wasn't really thrilled about. Remember back when we were setting up our backup folder, we had that little pop-up window and then we were able to make our own custom file structure? Well, when we open up our photos into the browser to preview them, all of that file structure goes away and it's only showing you in a big timeline. At least you have the option to switch between the date of the file and then the date of the upload. But the fact that you can make this really nice file structure to organize everything inside of the desktop app doesn't really make much sense that you don't have that available to you in the browser. Maybe you do, but I couldn't find it, but I tried pretty hard to find it and I didn't see it. So the best way that I could figure out how to fix this was basically to create albums. Basically, you just go around and selecting all of the photos that you want to add to an album, whether that's all of your raw photos that you want to put in an album, whether that's your favorite edits that you've made, or if you want to categorize them by each individual trip that you've gone or each individual photo shoot. That's really all up to you. So the best way that I could figure out how to get around this issue was to open up the desktop app and then upload each individual folder at a time. This took quite a while, pretty annoying to go through this process, but then you open it up into the browser and then you sort by the date added. So then you can see from top to bottom when you uploaded those photos. So then you can easily select the first and then all the way to the last set of each individual folder, add each one to a new album, and then you kind of have that same sort of file structure without having a file structure. So it is pretty annoying that you can't do that. That's probably my only complaint with Amazon Photos at this point. If you do happen to find a way that you can actually see the file structure that you've made, throw a comment down below because I'm sure that that would be helpful for everyone. Boggles my mind that it's not easily available to find, but that's life. So if you are an Amazon Prime user like myself, or if you're just a normal Amazon user and you want to check out a few gigabytes worth of storage available to you, go and check it out in the link below. This is probably going to be where I'm going to be counting on most of my photo backups for the foreseeable future, so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm actually not sure how long Amazon Photos has been around, but I just found out about it and I thought I would let you all know about it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, drop a like, and if you loved it, drop a subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.